Hey guys, welcome to Joe Ciminera Presents. I'm Joe Ciminera, and today we're going to be talking about how a filmmaker can be very resourceful in even the most difficult times. So if you're looking for a little kick in the behind to get started on your project while this whole crazy quarantine stuff is going on, now might be a good time to tune in. So let's look at the difference between an independent filmmaker and someone who relies on Hollywood, SAG, and everybody else of production. Now I can tell you that if you're not an independent filmmaker and you're just an obvious, actor in the industry, or maybe you're in the union, pretty much the whole TV and movie industry has been completely shut down with this whole coronavirus and everything else. And one thing that I've learned in my years of filmmaking is not to rely on anyone for my destiny. So, you'll start to see, if you haven't, especially going on all these film forums and stuff like that, now that we all have time to do, but you really reconnect with old colleagues and stuff like that. And my circle of independent filmmakers are basically people that during this lockdown have been making films, and I'm talking about, I'm not talking about a large crew. I'm talking about, could be just one actor, could be the same camera person, could be the same person doing everything, could be the person doing the editing and stuff like that. So I think independent filmmakers are always a step ahead of the game, but sometimes people might look at them as they're not as good as Hollywood. Why? Because they don't have the money. But in times like this, who's better? I mean, the independent filmmaker hasn't stopped making movies. Even with the whole lockdown and quarantine, it's not because they have put anybody in jeopardy and they decided to breathe or cough and stand close to people. There's nothing to do with it. They have the creative edge where they don't need 25 people to start filming. They don't need a gaffer. They don't need a makeup artist. They don't, they're creative with their brain and an iPhone. So to prove a point, I just rolled out a movie that I filmed and had edited in 3 days. And I had no idea what I was going to do until I barricaded. It was actually this room, believe it or not. I barricaded the whole room. I made it look like an apartment. And I did a movie on the coronavirus quarantine. And that movie was shot by me. It wasn't edited, but my editors are overseas. They're on lockdown as well. So shout out to them because they always do a great job. So I filmed it. I did all the voiceover. I acted in it and everything else. And I created what I think is the new world order coming for the coronavirus quarantine. And it was a fun time making. It was 3 long days, but there was nobody on set. It was just me. It was just me. Me, my camera angles, my iPhone, and the internet. That's all I needed to produce the film. Now let's talk about what good is that going to do, Joe? Well, basically, that film right now is going to be put on Amazon. It's going to be distributed to multiple platforms. It's a short film. It's about 30 minutes. I'll post a link down at the bottom if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to get ad revenue from that film. I'm going to make money off of that short film. And that is not stop me. What's going on in the world doesn't stop me. Like, I don't care what happens in the world. I mean, I do, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I love. And it's not going to stop me from making movies. I don't need a large production. I mean, sure, I would love it. I mean, there's nothing more that I would love is 200 actors on set, beautiful craft service and everything else. I've been there, done that. But you know what? When it comes down to it, I'm passionate about making movies. I will pick up my phone, walk down an empty streets in New York City, and I'm going to film an apocalypse movie. I mean, I'm going to put it together. This is the time where we ask ourselves as filmmakers, are we going to be creative individuals? This world is changing. Look, it just showed us. Look at how many people are out of work in the industry. It's sad. It's horrible. But not everyone can do what an independent filmmaker can do. And you can be an actor or an actress and say to yourself, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make my own film tomorrow. You can do that. There's no boilerplate rule for who can't make a film. What I'm basically saying is make the film on the resources that you have and take those resources, put something together, and you can distribute it. I mean, it's a great digital age right now to distribute film. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, you might have been shunned by many people as I'm an independent producer. I'm not in Hollywood, but nobody in Hollywood's working right now, and there's no telling when they're going to go back to work. So I don't know who's the more resourceful individual now, the independent filmmaker or the Hollywood globalist out there who want $2 to $5 to $15 million to produce a movie. So we could see a new age in filmmaking. And it's times like this where we're tested both by our faith in God and our ability to be creative. And you should not let this stop you from becoming creative. And I've seen a ton, well, not a ton, but I've seen about a half a dozen incredible movies about coronavirus from filmmakers who have been just quarantined, locked down in their garage and stuff like that. And the stuff is good stuff. I mean, and this is what being creative and this is what it means. So go out there, make your film. Don't let anything stop you. And I look forward to seeing it.